All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Title of the video is how I made $1,000 off of Elestrals products or Elestral cards on TCGPlayer in a month. And so, first and foremost, let's kind of begin with I am completely shocked at the demand that Elestrals had for me personally on my TCGPlayer store. I did not expect that much in revenue in a month. It was a little over a month. It was like 33, 34 days. But regardless, I didn't expect 1,000. I was expecting at most maybe $150 to $200 sold through on TCGPlayer. But the demand that you guys and players and everybody, that purchased from me was insane, at least for me being a one-man army. And more so because it's a newer game and it just got added on. And that probably played a part as to why there was so much demand the first week or so. It's because it was new to the platform. But regardless, I sold through close to $1,000 in 33 days, almost a month, essentially, right? And so let's kind of go over it, man. Like, how did I get to this point? How did I sell $1,000 worth of single cards? Mind you, these were all single cards, no sealed product, no serialized cards, and no reverse stellars. For those that are new to Elestrals, or you just clicked on this video because I somehow popped up on your algorithm, Elestrals has serialized cards and rare cards called reverse stellars in their products. And typically those reverse stellars can sell from $60 to $100 a pop, depending on the desirability of the card and all that good stuff. And the serialized cards sell for about $300 on average. That seems to be the case. There are certain cards that will sell for more than that based on popularity and whether it's a highly playable card in the metagame currently, right? So I think like a good example of this was like Elechick, and Eddie is another good one from Daybreak. But I digress. I did not post any of the higher hit cards per se. These were all single cards. These were cards that I think the most expensive card that I had put on there was $15. All of the other cards were $1, $2, $3, $4. They were all just regular single cards, and I sold through a bunch of them. And so, number one on the list, obviously the number one most sold card type is going to be the meta cards, the staples, right? I got Ambrosias. You got your Nectar of the Gods. You have your Royals. You're resting on your laurels. Tsunami was a good one, and Earthquake, right? You have those playable staple cards that players need. And so by far blew me out of the water. Like, in a little backstory as to how I got all these cards, I basically had about 14 booster boxes worth of Daybreak single cards, bulk cards, just sitting in my closet. I had about 6 or 7 booster boxes worth of first edition base set. Another, I guess, what else? Base set, Daybreak. I don't have any Frostfall in my inventory. And, and another card or another set per se that was very successful was Shattered Stars, but we'll get more into that one here in a little bit. But essentially, I only posted cards that I know were already selling pretty good for me in the secondary market, on the Discord, on Facebook groups. And I thought in my little brain that, hey, if most people are already buying and selling and trading on the Facebook groups and on the Discord, then I probably shouldn't expect a lot of TCGPlayer orders. I was completely wrong. Day one of me uploading, like tsunamis and earthquakes and ambrosias and all this stuff that I had laying around that I had sorted prior, I got like 24, 25 orders day one. And so keep in mind, at this point, I did not have anything sorted other than those staple cards. I had like 10 staple card variants that I had uploaded, and some Shattered Stars hits that I had uploaded. And in that first 24 hours, man, it was insane for me. Like, it being a newer game, being on there and whatnot. I know 24, 25 orders doesn't seem like a lot, but when those orders are averaging $13 to $15 an order, I mean, that's a lot. And so, at least, again, basing it off of what my usual sell-through rate of other TCGs are on there, getting a $13, $15 order per order is pretty insane, especially when it's like 3 cards, 4 cards, and anyways. So after I saw day one, that's when I finally said, all right, you know what? Let me go ahead and actually start sorting through these cards and get them uploaded to TCGPlayer as I sort them. And so it took me about a week. I sorted through all of the Daybreak and the base set. Shout out to my wife. She actually helped me out a little bit with the Daybreak stuff. But I didn't have any of the fancy sorting trays. You might be able to see one back there now. I did purchase one because I realized I'm stupid and being on a table or chair is not cool for that. But I sorted through it all. I uploaded as I went. And as I was uploading the commons and uncommons of, for example, Daybreak, they were selling overnight. And so I kind of made it a point where every day I would try to sort through a little bit, upload what I could, and, just keep doing that. So by the end of the second week, I was already at like 50 orders, 66, probably like closer to 60 orders. First week was insane. I think that's the majority of my sales were there. And so regardless, that first week was insane. Day one was off the hook. And then obviously orders started kind of slowing down as it went. My biggest regret was not sorting through everything sooner, mainly because it was just huge missed opportunity there. Because for a moment there, I was one of the only sellers on TCGPlayer that had multiple copies of needed staple cards. Yes, you had a couple of sellers that had like maybe 2 or 3 copies up there, but I had like 60 of each staple card uploaded. I had like 60 tsunamis, like 30, 40 earthquakes. I had like 60 resting on your laurels. And the way that I got these cards were from opening, starter decks. And if you guys have been watching my channel, I've been opening Elestrals products since, I want to say 2024 in January with base set or whenever base set came out. And then I completely skipped over Frostfall, and then I jumped into Daybreak. And so a lot of the stuff that I had, the cool thing is, from the beginning that I started opening Elestrals products and selling the singles on the Discord or on the Facebook group, I was essentially making a profit on every product open. There was kind of like a price arbitrage going on there. But essentially, if I opened up a booster box and the booster box cost me $80, $90, I was making maybe $120, $130 back just off of like the hits of the box per se, not including the bulk rares and the bulk common and uncommons. And so essentially I would buy a box, crack it open, sell the hits, buy another box, crack it open, sell the hits. And so that's how I managed to amass 14 booster boxes in my closet of just bulk. And so same thing with starter decks. Starter decks, especially with Daybreak, started coming with, 3 packs. And so I'd crack open a starter deck. Not only would I be able to sell the hollow hit or the hollow, Elestral spirit or whatever, not spirit, the actual Elestral itself from the deck, but then you got 3 packs that when you cracked open, you could sell the singles. And I just kind of, it was kind of like the moment the Daybreak released, I kind of took advantage of that first month of release where everybody was trying to buy, all the hits, the hollows, the reverse stellars, the serialized stellars. So I took advantage of that 1 month, month and a half window, and I sold through a lot of hits, and that's how I managed to kind of keep funding the Elestrals hobby, and that's how I managed to pocket some profit and pre-order more product and all that good stuff. And so all this stuff that's been in the closet has been product that I've already made a profit on. This is just like the extras that I had uploaded. Because you can only open so many starter decks. I mean, I hit like, I want to say I opened up like 20 starter decks for Pentair. I didn't hit the Stellar Pentair, but I managed to sell the starter decks and the hollow hit, and I basically broke even on some of them. And then with the Daybreak starter decks, I just completely blew those out the water because I ended up pulling 2 serialized stellars from there and sold those for $700. So, I mean, again, huge price arbitrage that first month of release with base set and Daybreak, and possibly going forward that may change because of TCGPlayer being live, but we'll see. And so essentially, the gist of that was to say the product that I've had in my closet that I uploaded to TCGPlayer was essentially just my extras laying around. I've already made the profit on that product that I opened for it. This was just the bulk. And I did not expect to sell $1,000 worth of bulk and bulk rares and non-hollow rares and regular hollow rare hits that I did have. and the staple cards were just insane. So that was the big reason why I sold through a lot. It was I had a pretty consistent inventory of staple cards. I had, you know, like I had almost every single staple card except Poison Tipped Arrow, which I did end up getting later down the road through the Shattered Stars. And so the other, speaking of Shattered Stars, let's kind of go back to that. Shattered Stars was a huge boon for my TCG player. Once I actually sorted through there and I uploaded it to TCG Player, I mean, I was selling through my Shattered Stars months like crazy. And you know, again, this is that subscription that you get per month. You can get as little as 3 packs for $15 a month. I kind of go, you know, kind of in the middle tier. You know, I get about 60 packs shipped to me every month, and I spend about 265 after shipping and fees, shipping and taxes, I should say. You know, from the Shattered Stars monthly subscription, and I just crack the packs open, and I'm at the point where I do have, you know, like a small clientele base that come directly to me every month looking for specific cards. And so right when I receive my product, you know, they know I get my product, they reach out to me, and within the first week I basically recoup the entire cost of my Shattered Star subscriptions. And that doesn't include any of like the serialized hits or the reverse stellar hits that you can pull, or even just the bulk, you know, the regular cards that you can get in the packs. And so huge boon for me were Shattered Stars in my TCG Player store. I was going through, you know, $3 hollows, $5 hollows, Poison Tipped Arrow hollows. I sold for $15 a card. That was the most expensive card that I had listed on my TCG Player for Elestrals, and insane. I did not expect it. I didn't expect that, man. And so essentially, Shattered Stars continues to be such a great value for me personally. I know people don't like subscriptions. I just kind of started it small, and then when I saw that it basically pays for itself with the packs I open, I just said screw it, and I started putting more money into it every month. And I mean, it's been paying off for me. I mean, November month, well, we had it was like the new Lightning month or whatever for the new Thunder month for Shattered Stars, like the second block SS2. And that month, unfortunately, I didn't record. I'm going to try to be better about recording my pack openings again. But I pulled a 1 out of 10 serialized card in that Shattered Stars bundle, and I sold that card for $1,250, plus in addition about $400-500 worth of prototype product, which I opened for fun. And I do have like a couple cards I want to get graded from there. But overall, dude, like that itself paid for the month 5 times. And so obviously that's kind of like Gamba. but I mean, I really wasn't aiming for the out of 10. I'm hoping to just pull like one reverse stellar and then be able to sell the other hits and minimum just break even. But it's been a huge like seller for me in my TCG Player store. Shattered Stars just has been insane as well. And the third driving force as to why I made that much money in the 33 days or whatever selling TCG Player, it's going to be the spirits. So spirits are the resource for Elestrals, right? The cool thing about this is I have a base price of 25 cents no matter what card I have in stock. If the card is 15 cents, I'm going to sell it for 25. And that's exactly what I did. I put all of my spirits, the regular base spirits from Daybreak and Base Set 1, I sorted through them, and I uploaded all of them on TCG Player. Literally that same day, I sold through like 80 of them. And so I got cleaned out, and then I had to go through my other product, sift through that, and kind of get that sorted. But spirits sell like crazy. I sell those for 25 cents minimum. The Shattered Stars packs come with 1 spirit as well, and they're, again, it's alternate art. The cool thing about the Elestral spirits is each set, each product, they have their own spirit art. And so this kind of leads to people wanting, like a certain spirit art from Shattered Stars or a certain spirit art from the regular base set or Daybreak or Frostfall for their decks. Obviously, Shattered Stars ones have a premium because some of them can come in hollow, and so those sell for like $2 or $3 each. And then there's the other ones that are more popular, like the Suga Mosby artwork on Celebrations that came out in like September. That was a pretty big month for Shattered Stars in general. That artwork is selling for 50 cents to $1. And so, as you can imagine, somebody bought 40 spirits from me at 25 cents each. I mean, that's what, $10 in just bulk spirits. And the other thing to note, and I guess this is kind of like the cherry on top as to why it was so, I guess I didn't expect it, was because I was probably the most expensive seller on TCGPlayer. Not because of the card price per se, but the shipping cost. I was a base $3 shipping regardless of order size. I had people purchasing 25-cent, 50-cent cards and paying $3 shipping for it. Just one card, right? And so obviously I did have some orders that required bubble mailer, like the spirits one, that if they bought 40 or 50 or 60 of them or whatever, that requires bubble mailer or a little box. And so those I had to drop $4.50 to $5 to ship that out with tracking, right? And so all these single card orders and all these other orders that are $15 basically, it averaged out to, I think I got it was like almost 80 orders in the first 33 days, 34 days of being live on TCGPlayer. And the orders ended up averaging out to like $13 per order, something like that, like $12 or $13 per order on average for Elestrals. And so being the most expensive option for shipping, that was nuts. Most people, myself included, if I saw a 25-cent card and it had, free shipping versus $3, people are going to go for the free shipping. But I believe I had a leg up on people at the time because I had so much inventory uploaded, within the first week or a week and a half or two, as compared to other stores, right? And I also had more inventory of cards as opposed to other sellers that may have only 10 or 15 spirit cards, where I had 50, 60, 70 of each spirit type, And so I've basically sold through most of my spirits at this point. I'm down to a little bit left. I still have those up on my inventory. I've sold through a lot of my Shattered Star spirits. I think I'm basically almost out of Shattered Star spirits, except for the most recent months. And even then, I'm running low on those. And so those were basically the three driving forces of my sales. It was staple cards, Shattered Stars, and spirits. Those were the three. I didn't sell any of like the big hits. I didn't sell really any full arts. I didn't sell any serialized cards or reverse cards or like reverse stellar cards. Just strictly staple cards, Shattered Stars, and spirits. Those were like the three best sellers in my TCGPlayer store. And I gotta hand it to the players, man. You guys are insane, man. Y'all are crazy. Y'all got so many orders in through me, man. I appreciate y'all. And obviously now that the first month is over and we're kind of in our second month, I have already decreased my shipping back down to like the $127 minimum that TCGPlayer has. The main reason why I had it at $3 to begin with was because I didn't have anything sorted. I didn't have anything organized. And I figured it's going to take me time to pull these cards and then get them, packaged up and then dropped off. Like, I'm not going to do a 25-cent card for basically free shipping. That's a waste of my time. That's a waste of materials and all that stuff. So now everything's organized except for my base set. Base set's organized per se. I just need to put it in my 5-row boxes now. But I got Shattered Stars fully organized by month and now technically by year. All the holo hits are organized. All of my Daybreak is fully organized and alphabetized. So now when I get an order in, I just go to look for the letter and bam, I pull the cards out. So now that I'm more efficient, I lower down the shipping cost. And even though orders did basically fall off after the first month, I'm still averaging about maybe 1 or 2 sales every couple of days just off of Elestrals. And again, typically the average Elestrals order is at least now it's like $5 to $10. That seems to be kind of where I'm at with the 127 shipping. And so that's how I made $1,000 off of TCGPlayer on, off of Elestrals being on TCGPlayer in the first month. And my thoughts on it are, I guess I have some thoughts. So if you guys want to stay for that, cool, stay. Otherwise, like that's the video for you guys. Spirits, Shattered Stars, staple cards. Those are the cards you need to keep. Those are the cards you want to upload and sell. They sell really well on there. But my thoughts on Elestrals is kind of interesting. So Elestrals from the get-go, it's a small game, but they're slowly growing. They're basically the slow and steady mindset, right? Which is good. That's kind of what you want. You don't want a business to be, to explode overnight in popularity, to increase print runs up the wazoo, man, and basically cause problems that we've seen other, small TCGs do. The cool thing is they're slowly growing. They're getting into more and more LGSs. Now that they're on TCGPlayer, it'll probably be easier for them to get more LGSs on board, because I believe that was actually a point of contention, according to Dan, as to why a lot of stores were hesitant on jumping on board, right? It's interesting because I see a lot of, and I've seen this in a local game store here too, where I see like Yu-Gi-Oh players playing Elestrals. And the funny thing is, this LGS here in the Austin area, I don't even think they carry Elestrals. They're just playing a game in the stand or the tables there. And so a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are playing Elestrals because it plays similar to Yu-Gi-Oh. It plays similar to Magic in terms of the resource system. So if you're familiar with Magic, you'll be familiar with the resource system. And obviously, if you're familiar with Pokemon, you kind of get the whole evolution/ascend situation. For Elestrals, it's Ascension. It's a little bit different from what I've gathered. You can basically ascend into any other Elestral that you want. You don't have to follow the set Ascension line, is what it's called, basically like the evolution line. So, for example, you would go from Hydrake, right? You could go from Hydrake. It ascends. Its Ascension line goes to Twindra, and then I'd show you guys my Pantera, but it's off being graded at PSA. But essentially, that's how they do it, right? So it's kind of a mix and match of multiple TCGs, and it's been doing pretty well. I've heard a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players have started playing it because they're familiar with the game mechanics, and obviously, I guess Yu-Gi-Oh apparently is having some sort of crisis with their players or something. I could be wrong. Let me know down below. But that's what I've heard, that Yu-Gi-Oh players are kind of upset with. What is it, like Bandai Namco? Is it Bandai? Or no, it's whatever. It's not Bandai. It's another company, Konami, because they're kind of doing some things that the players aren't liking, and so that's kind of created this kind of shift. And I'm not only seen it, online being spoken about, but Facebook groups, man. I see a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players purchasing Elestrals. Discord, same thing, dude. I see a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players, specifically people who go on there saying, "Hey, I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I'm trying to get into Elestrals. I want to buy this and this card for my deck and all this other stuff." So I'm seeing a lot of that, and it could just be, what's it called, like whatever. It could just be nothing, but I am noticing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players that are interested and are playing Elestrals. 2, Elestrals is a very interesting, in today's 2025 environment. It's all about collectors and, the money side of things for TCGs and investors and all that stuff, right? Elestrals has basically catered to the players and the LGS stores. I have distribution with, different distributors. I can buy Pokemon products without any problem. I can buy other indie TCGs without any problem. But I cannot order Elestrals product unless I have a brick and mortar store. So they're very, very much, they're sticking to their guns. They're not letting any store purchase Elestrals. You have to have a brick and mortar to purchase Elestrals. I'm literally blocked from purchasing Elestrals. Dan, if you're listening to this, long shot, please let me know when you're going to allow small online stores to purchase Elestrals products. I would love to rip boxes and sell singles, because I can't get any at distribution without having a brick and mortar store. And so Pokemon lets you. I can get Pokemon distribution. And that's kind of where this conversation leads to, is Elestrals is an inverse of Pokemon, at least at its current state. Pokemon, I want to say from the very beginning, was always seen as a collectible card game first and foremost, as opposed to a game. And I could be wrong, but even when I was a kid, I never once played Pokemon. Back in like the early 2000s, me and my friends were just cracking packs, collecting the cards, putting them in our binders, and trading. That's all we did for Pokemon. And so I'm sure you guys have heard of this statistic. It's like less than like 10% or something crazy like that of people who actually purchase Pokemon TCG products do so with the intent of actually playing the actual game. So it's a huge swing. There's 10% of players or whatever, and then a huge, like 80-90% of people that purchase it are just collectors or people who just enjoy cracking packs. Elestrals is the opposite. There is way more players, at least from the onset that I'm looking at. There's way more players than there are collectors or investors or whatever. I don't play Elestrals. I will probably play the mobile client. I've tried playing it on there. I didn't understand it because I didn't read. I need to read. But, you know, I mainly crack packs. I sell the singles, and I'm doing master set binders is what I like to do. So, and I get cards graded that are serialized. Like that's how I'm basically a collector, right? But if you ever get onto the Facebook groups or you go on the Discord, it usually tends to be the same exact people that are buying and selling the more sought after cards. In other words, there's such a small market for those cards that the price for those rare cards have basically not changed in over a year. Serialized cards, base price is about $350 on release. As time goes on, they can drop down to as low as $150. Base set one Stellars in particular, for the most part, you can get those really, really cheap. Daybreak Stellars have basically been $250 to $350 since release. But there's only a very small subset of serialized cards that increased in price or continue to go up or just higher, you know, they have a higher base price compared to others. For example, Pantera, right, is probably like the poster child for Elestrals, right? This is like the 5-headed dragon you see when you go on their website. It's the 5-headed dragon you see in the promos and all that stuff, and the booster box, etc. A Stellar Pantera, its starting price was about $300. And then due to the scarcity, there's only 99 of them, and it's a really popular card, and I'll probably try to post it up on the screen here. I have mine currently grading at PSA. I just sent it off the other day, so hopefully in like 2 months I can show that off to you guys. But there's only 99, and there's one particular person that's trying to buy them all up, and I think he's a pretty good player or something like that from what I've gathered. And so he himself has like probably 10 or 15 copies of this X out of 99 card. And so the Pantera, the Stellar Pantera market has gone up to as high as like $700 or $800. I've purchased a Stellar Pantera for $500, $550, and I had somebody hit me up wanting it, and I said, dude, the only way I'm going to sell this is if I get $700 for it, or $750. And we negotiated. We went down to $700. I made a $150 profit on it, shipped it off or whatever. And the reason that I was okay with doing that is because it wasn't in the best condition. Because these serialized Stellars are X out of 99, they're going to have, you know, you're going to have some that are just not in good condition. The guy was fully aware. He was cool with it. Continue on. I then purchased another serialized Pantera, and that time I did pay $450. But I've seen people, again, people paid $600, $700 for one. It's going to continue to go up. But the reason I mention this is because that's just like the extreme example. Stellar Pantera. There's other Stellars that go down in value. They just stay stagnant, and we don't really see much movement because we're not at that point yet. I want to say there's not that many collectors, investors, whatever, in Elestrals just yet. It's still a newer card game. I don't think people want to just throw all their money on another game that they don't know is going to last or not. Based on what I've seen, I think they're going to be here for quite a while as long as they continue to grow slowly. They have their very first tournament, like their actual first in-person tournament in Dallas in March, which I think they're going to be releasing the badge sales like tomorrow on Friday the 3rd. And so they're growing, they're doing their thing, slow and steady wins the race, and as long as they keep doing that, they'll be fine. And so I don't expect to see a lot of growth in the collector space for quite a while from Elestrals. This is going to be something like, I don't know, give it like 2-3 years. We might see more people interested in purchasing some of these serialized cards. But again, it's such a small amount of people that are the ones purchasing and selling the Stellars, the serialized collector's cards. And then, you know, full arts, the only real full arts that have value, again, are the staple full art. So, for example, a full art poison-tipped arrow from Daybreak sells for like $80 to $100 still. While a full art Lestragon, when it first came out, those were selling for $100. Now they're down to like $30 on TCGPlayer, something crazy like that. So we'll see how that goes. The more people start to pick up Elestrals, and the more people are aware of it, you will slowly start seeing more people get into it. But as of right now, it is a huge inverse. Way more players than there are collectors. And, you know, staple cards just have a huge premium right now compared to any other card. But that's basically it, man. So very interesting take on how they've done things thus far as a TCG company. I guess it was pretty interesting that they went with a monthly subscription to get more of like a small subset each month while having recurring revenue coming in for them. I think that was pretty smart, and that's how they've been able to do a lot of cool stuff as well. I think they're sticking to like 3 yearly releases for sets, yearly sets or whatever. And yeah, so I mean, 2025 should hopefully be bigger than 2024 because now they're on TCGPlayer. They're having their first in-person tournament, and their last digital tournament broke like their own internal records or whatever for the amount of people that are actually participated and watched and all that. And so we'll see how it goes, but that's my thoughts on it, man. There's a lot of positive things that they're doing, and there's a lot of room for growth. And if they just continue to play their cards right, no pun intended, I think they'll be just fine. Especially because I feel like they are taking a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players and getting them into Elestrals because of the similar game mechanics. But again, that's just what I'm seeing. It could be completely false. But I have seen a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players jumping ship to Elestrals, and even ones that said no, I'm not going to jump ship, have jumped shipped because I've confirmed that they have jumped shipped. So we'll see how that goes, man. But that's basically all I got for you guys. Insane first 33 days on TCGPlayer. Orders are now slowed down, obviously, because that first rush of demand is over. I am no longer one of the only ones with a bunch of inventory on there. But I guess some of the future plans for me for Elestrals is to hopefully be able to get like 2 or 3 cases of booster boxes for Moonrise and blister packs and all that good stuff, and just basically crack them open, sell singles, sell the hits, rinse, repeat. Because again, usually that first month thus far that I've noticed with Elestrals has huge price swings and huge price arbitration where booster boxes are basically cheaper and you get more out of the single cards right off the bat. So that's all I got for you guys today. Appreciate y'all tuning in, and hopefully I should have a Elestrals, pack opening here for you guys soon, because I think my Shattered Stars January just got charged on my card, so they should be shipping it out hopefully this week. So hopefully by next week I'll have that in hand, and I can crack open packs and see what we get. But appreciate you guys, and I'll try to make more update videos regarding TCGPlayer sales and what I'm selling and all that stuff on there and how that's kind of going. I might just start with Shattered Stars month, basically start at like a negative 265 or whatever it is, and seeing how much we can sell from Shattered Stars from that particular month and onward. So very cool. Hopefully I can do more this year than I have in the past. And Happy New Year's to you guys as well, man. Hopefully you guys had a great time with family and friends. And let's kind of get 2025 off with a bang, bro. So appreciate you guys. I'll try to also do Pokemon unboxings, bro. And I'll try to get maybe some Flesh and Blood. Definitely some Elestrals. I got Nom Nomverse that's coming up very soon. What else do I have, bro? Oh, I'll probably try out the new MetaZoo. I'm going to see how I've been liking some of the stuff they've been sharing. So I might get one of their new MetaZoo booster boxes when they actually release. They're supposed to be releasing like in January or February or Q1 or whatever they want to call it. But that's all, man. See you guys soon. Thanks.